Good evening, everyone. Hopefully, you can hear me. Um, and, and I was going to say welcome back. It's been a while. Good to be back. Hopefully, you're all ready. I think all the changes have been made and everything, but maybe before we dive into everything, then we should maybe have a quick look at the fixtures and at the table and familiarize ourselves with what's actually going on here. And that'll give everyone a chance to join as well. Sound but no picture. Are we sure about that? Is it just Carl who has no picture, or does anyone else have picture issues? Aha, okay, okay. So you meant it was just the loading screen; it wasn't actually the thing. Aha, aha, aha. Is there in? Sorry, Mr. Edwards. It's there. No, yeah, anyway, that's fine. Good, good, good. Hopefully you can see it. All good, all good. So shortly before we went live, I posted the fixtures on the actual Twitter account. So hopefully you can all follow along there. Let's have a look. Um, we have Dudley at home to Foss Road, two top, two top, can't even speak, two top six teams, and the same with the next one, Exiles against East Coast. The chasing pack, Hackers against Fulchester down at the bottom, Los Santos Stackington. Sancte take on Badgers, Sloths against Northern Burn. These are bottom against top. With some of the bottom-ish sides, hoping for taking advantage from being at home. And finally, Stanley against the Vikings. Let's have a quick look, first of all, at the results as they happened last time. Very, very famous week for purely populated by home victories. Badgers, Dudley, East Coast Exiles, all of the let's say the favorites picked up a win at home. So no surprises there for anyone. And if we look at the table, I don't think I'll come to a surprise to anyone that Northern Burn are top. We have Dudley Hill and East Coast close behind, Badgers Foss Road on 15. Then it's going to be no, yeah, not a push for them to get up there. We still have whatever it is, 18 games to go. But it's if you want to be in the top three, now's the time. You need to hang on. We've got Haggis and Colchester just below the line. Stanley Sloths, Los Santos and Sancte, and Vikings on 5. Stackington looking for the first win of the season still. Down on 4, unfortunately for them, but they've done it okay. They've done okay. 4 draws is not the worst, and they have scored a couple of goals, but there is a big discrepancy between the amount of goals scored at the top and at the bottom. I think in previous seasons there's been maybe not as pronounced that really negative goal differences here at the bottom, but we'll see how that changes. Obviously, the leakiest defense so far has been Los Santos, conceding 18 goals so far. They have scored a few in the process, but it's a difficult time for Jamie's boys. Oh, Ian's on the chickpeas again. Of course, the home roasted chickpeas. It doesn't get much better than that, does it? So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at in terms of the table. Again, summer holidays, so it's been so-so in terms of the regular shows, but there we go. I hear that the All Stars League, for those who want a regular, all the time action, the All Stars probably will complete about 3 seasons in the time it's going to take us to do this. Anyway, enough chatting about that stuff. The Sex Panther of the Super League. Indeed, indeed. Enough, enough chat. We'll try and crack on with some games. Um, if anyone has any preference for going first or last or anything like that, then please give a shout. As always, make sure you quickly double check when your squad comes up on screen. I'll try and show everything, but I think everything's been updated, but it has been a while, so let's just double check. If I haven't seen whoever it is that comes up in the chat yet, then we'll drop to the next game and wait for them eventually. Haggis against Fulchester. I have not seen either manager around. I could potentially have a look at someone else who definitely is here. Carl likes an early game, doesn't he? Oh, here is Dan. Okay. Um, so we fire off. So we go with this one. And we go with Fulchester against Haggis, and then we'll do the unicorns next because I think um, I ignored Smut's request for an early game or misunderstood something last time out. So we'll do that. We'll do Fulchester against Haggis first. So Fulchester line up like this, I believe. There are some transfers, so they've not been processed yet. So I'm going to try and process them in between the two games. So just if you see that um, pop up, um, then don't worry. I know that normally you see bid or whatever next to the name of the players, but that's not been processed yet. So you're just gonna be patient and trust me on this one. I'll process them as soon as this round is done. I know there's a whole host of them. Good to see some transfer action again. They have been a little bit slow recently. Um, and I see Tato's here as well. Um, Once again, if there are any issues with the stream itself, then please let me know in the chat. The chat I have access to, but I don't see the actual activities. So without further ado, let's fire into this one. Before I melt, as mentioned, the the heat here in Super League HQ um, is a little bit on the warm side. Let's say that. Anyway, it seems as if there are no problems with this one, with the Fulchester side, and they're up against Haggis, who I think they're making one. I think Cannavaro comes in. Saeed moves into midfield for Smooch, who then drops out completely to shot sits on the bench. And stays there. Monterrubio out as well. Pires coming in. Those were the only changes. Remind ourselves of uh, how Madeira has done so far this season. He's played really well and but only got 8s and not scored, so he goes on the bench. Anyway, that's the lineup for the first game of the evening. Um, it's Haggis against Colchester. Good luck to both managers, of course. If anyone wants to make any predictions, you're of course welcome. Um, It's been fairly active here in the beginning. Kluivert's name popping up once or twice, Del Vecchio again, but it's Van Nistelrooy, the third striking option or the third attacking option from Hackett, who opens the scoring just on 19 minutes, um, taking the lead 1-0 against Fulchester. Fulchester are definitely not without chances. Fernando Torres has been up there a couple of times, and I've seen the Nielsen being involved in terms of the trying to provide the assists anyway. There was Beckham to Fernando Torres again. Um, Certainly a lot of activity from Fulchester, but hasn't really resulted in a goal yet. Haggard's been a little bit more dangerous. They've maybe had less in terms of the action zones. Not that we normally look at this, but they have. But they've had spent the time a little bit more effectively when they've been up there, much unlike some of the sides in the Euros. Let's have a look at the Haggis stats at halftime. Everyone's on a 7, apart from Kluivert, who's on an 8. No assist, apparently, for that one. Over on the Fulchester side, 6s and 7s. Look like they could do with Mark Viduka. Well, maybe they could. You're trying to offload him, I guess. He has been unhappy for a while, Dimple, so I wouldn't be surprised. But we'll see if your sales pitch will will improve, and then we'll fall for that. Anyway, those are your numbers. Play on for now, says Dan. So we will do that until 60. And Nistelrooy and Kluivert combining there at the beginning of the second half, trying to get that second goal for Haggis, who, if not, wouldn't put the game out of reach for Fulchester, but it would definitely make it exceptionally difficult for them to get back in, considering the way that the chances have been distributed so far. Coming up to 60, so we will do that. There's an indirect free kick coming up. Patrick Kluivert is now on a 9. There are no condition issues for the Haggis side. Meanwhile, we can have a look at this. It's been all Haggis in the second half, as you probably noticed. Um, for Fulchester, we can have a look at the condition again. Danielson is down on 83. Everyone looks match fit for sure. Daniel Anderson is sitting on a yellow. Beckham, Torres, and Danielson all struggling to really sort of make an impact. Let's put Anelka on. I can see that. Um, don't know if there's any other substitutions that are sort of blatantly obvious. Zanetti is probably disgruntled, sitting on the bench there, looking for action, but not sure if he will find it. See if Dan wants to make any more changes. If not, we will roll until the end and see if that was enough. And Anderson for Zanetti. Indeed, Zanetti coming in there. Can play centrally. Did for Valen United back in the day, if anyone remembers that. I think with an arrow out though, but that's it and done. Okay, excellent. Let's see how it goes. The last half hour. Hack is against Fulchester. Fulchester looking for that equalizer still. And Elka's bound to come on and send a message to his manager. Or Van Nistelrooy is bound to make it 2-0. Could go either way, I guess. Um, Clinical finishing from the Dutchman for Haggis, and it looks as if Colchester are creating a couple of things here towards the end, but he just failed to hit the back of the net. Or they even failed to hit the target. They had, I think, 3-2 at half time and finished for 5-2. Strong performance from Haggis there, not really allowing Colchester any real dangerous chances. And when they had them, they kind of failed to capitalize. One assist for Petkov, 2 goals for Van Nistelrooy, as mentioned. He gets man of the match. Solid performance. Over on the other side, it was really in the attacking department that things didn't really work out. With Beckham, with the Nielsen not delivering really, Sadov and Vogel in there as well, only getting the sevens. Johan Vogel has definitely had better performances in the Super League. So a little bit, I won't say unlucky, but a tough one for Colchester against a strong Hackney side. And that concludes the first game of the evening. It looks as if we will have the unicorns next automatically, or selected by the game anyway. It's Dudley Hill who are, if you remember rightly, apart from that East Coast game, are on a fairly decent run. 3 wins from the last 4. They start to have people coming back. Evening Alf, by the way, starts with people coming back. I believe that Montero has come back in for John Terry, and everyone else stays the same. Marquinhos was found somewhere and has been put into the lineup and did well ish 7 anyway last time out. He stays. Mark Kerr's not really been doing anything for Steve, so he sticks with Marquinhos for now. So that's the Dudley Hill side. They're up against Foss Road, who let's have a look. Are they unchanged? No, even Helguera was there before, and he's not because Keane is back, of course. So he comes in. If we remind ourselves, they had that 2-1 win against Haggis after having hit a bit of a slump. It looked as if they were going very strong early on in the season, but it slowed down a bit for them, but they're back to winning ways. Um, then Mark Kirklick's made me happy. He scores now. He's not playing though, is he? You only wanted to swap Montero and Terry. So I don't know. Did you want him to play? I don't think that was the case, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. I will review. Just Montero for Terry next game, please. No, it's definitely no, he's definitely not playing. So apologies if he was meant to, but no, you didn't put him in. So, but anyway, let's see Marquinhos. Maybe he will score. Maybe he will score. Anyway, let's kick this one off. Hopefully, we will get some more action. Oh, the lovely green away kit from Foss Road. I won't say rarely seen. It does pop up from time to time, but it's definitely an unusual color combination. We kick this one off and we see if Dudley Hill can find a clean sheet with Montero back in the lineup, or if it'll be Keane for Foss Road who will be the dominant force today. A good start from Foss Road. Ortega involved a couple of times, but Dudley Hill, the hands firm, and it's Shevchenko straight up the other end. Puts Dudley Hill 1-0 up with 17 minutes on the clock. Crespo tries his luck. For Foss Road, not been as prolific as he was in the first couple of games of the season, but I'm sure he will find his way back to The scoring. Meanwhile, last chance before the half. No, nothing else doing. It's 3-2, 3-2 in terms of shots on goal and on target for both sides. Fairly even first half with Shevchenko making the difference. Trezeguet getting the assist for Dudley Hill. Um, Marquinhos on a 6 and David Collins on a 6. Probably the only sort of immediate areas of interest at the moment. Um, can have a quick look at the condition on a screen where you can actually see it. David Collins is down on 86. Apart from that, everyone's doing well. David Collins will score, says Andrew. Yeah, well, maybe. Maybe he will. Meanwhile, Cross Road, it's not been a good game for them in terms of ratings. Sixes across the board, with a couple of exceptions so far. Fitness, they're doing okay. Sabrosa, the only one under 90. Super fitness team what we've got here, but could do with a little bit more doing and a little bit less running. Barong has been heavily involved in terms of the passes, 17, but um, nothing has really happened for him so far. As it's still 60, says both managers, so that's what we're going to do. First 7 minutes, nothing happens. The next 7 minutes, nothing happened either. And there's a yellow card for a two-footed tackle for someone. I believe it was, yeah, Steven Gerrard indeed. Um, Things haven't gone from bad to worse, but they haven't improved either, really. Bunch of sixes and sevens for Foss Road. So, Smuts, if there's anything you would like to do in terms of bringing on subs, then please let us know. Meanwhile, in the Dudley Hill camp, condition-wise, everyone is doing just fine. Here are your match ratings. If there's anything, same for you, of course. If you want to see Luka Tony, Volodenkov, or if you're happy to roll, then please confirm as well, Steve. I'll let both managers ponder for a little bit what their actions might be. Steve says he'll leave it, so we'll pop over to Foss Road so Smuts can see what's going on. There's, of course, Crespo. Who started off excellently. 6 goals, I think, in the first 6 games, or five even, but hasn't really had a lot of luck recently. Sixes so far. He is on a 7 tonight, but still without goal. Um, on the bench, Alex could maybe come in, but he has played and lost his spot, I think, before. But let's have a look. Alex comes for Van der Vaart, Yakubu for Gerrard, uh, error on Ortega, and that's it. Excellent, clear and concise. We're going to do that and see if that'll be enough in the last 30 minutes to find the equalizer for Foss Road, or if it will go the way of the first game this evening and the home side will make it two in no time at all. It looks like very even chances for both teams here. But it's Alex who came on who finds the equalizer for Foss Road. There's still 15 minutes to play. So we will definitely put it down to fast here and see what the sides can create in the last 10 minutes. And of course, I was going to say nothing happens, but it's Montero who clears the danger. Roberto Carlos come forward. Again, Roberto Carlos involved, but nothing really is happening, and Shevchenko's offside. 5 minutes of added time. I didn't know they played with those rules back in the day without injury to have 5 minutes of added time. That seems a bit unusual, but we'll take the referee's word for it. Free kick for Foss Road. Easy for Headman to deal with. Trezeguet to Shevchenko. Trezeguet, Shevchenko again. Addo collects the ball. Shevchenko was under pressure for Sambrata and could not convert. Collins was involved as well, but he didn't score in the end, and it stays 1-1. A bunch of offsides, 25 free kicks, 17 of them for offside. That's interesting. Very even game. Both sides won't say, well, struggle to take the initiative really, which makes for kind of tense viewing, but not with a huge amount of goals towards the end, where perhaps we would have liked to see a late winner or some drama. But either way, I think they'll probably both managers will be fairly satisfied with this, given how the game panned out. We'll see who picked up the assist for Foss Road. No one did. It was Alex himself. What did he do? Just out of interest. Oh, direct free kick. Very nice. You don't see that every day. And Marquinhos getting an 8. Yeah, well spotted, Steve, with his two key tackles, two key headers. He did put in a good shift there. An 8, him and Montero. Who got man of the match? Lilian Thuram. Solid defensive display there as well, winning 8 out of 10 tackles and dominating in the air as you'd expect from him. So, another interesting match and a decent result that both managers can be happy with. Dudley Hill against Foss Road was a 1-1 draw. Next up, we have Los Santos, who I think they lost 3-0. Yeah, they are not. They had a good result against Fulchester, but they are not on a great run, to be completely honest. Um, they do play now with two up top. Nedved did okay early on in the season. He's probably been their best player so far, but they have struggled a little bit. They are in 11th though, so things could definitely be worse. Um, and talking about how things could be worse, we do have Stackington down in 14th, still looking for the first win of the season. I have seen Ross about, so should be good to go with this one as well. Um, in terms of the tactics, there's a bunch of changes. So they've gone to a more sort of Super League friendly, familiar formation with wing backs with Cole and Contra, Alexander Voigt in the central midfield, defensive midfield next to the Cour, Rivaldo on the central midfield, and still struggling to find proper sort of goal scoring formation up front. And we will see if Saviola, Ibrahimovic, and Agahawa is the winning combination. One defender, does that actually work? Um, I guess it can. You'd probably have to ask Neil if he's about. Although he's more into zero defenders these days, I think he claimed to play a 5-3-2. The five were all central midfielders, if I remember rightly. He tweeted about that earlier. I guess it can work. But no one has stuck with it for like a great length of time. So chances are that it kind of doesn't really. Anyway, we'll kick this one off. The third game of the evening. Ibrahimovic gets a squad number, and we'll see if Los Santos can find a win here, or even a draw, or if Stackington will pick up the first 3 points of the season. So good luck to both managers, and kick this one off. Very busy first couple of minutes with chances for both sides. Pizarro's name was up there for sure. Ebesant, now we see him. Lizarazu coming forward. There is Pizarro opening the scoring for Los Santos. I think the assist came from Lizarazu out of the wing, but Stackington are creating their own chances as well. Ibrahimovic has gone close a couple of times. Here he comes again, getting involved. Contra is out on the wing, trying to supply the strikers. Um, but they are yet to find the back of the net. And now it's Los Santos taking the initiative again. Pavel Nedved is involved. There's a yellow card for Oliver Dacour. Saviola running around, doing not much of anything. Ibrahimovic getting involved. Doesn't seem that he hit the target, and out of nowhere comes Maldini with the second goal of the game, putting Los Santos 2-0 up. And there is the third from Guerrero. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one for a manager looking for a win to go in at halftime 3-0 down, pulling Guerrero with the third. Um, I mean, an open and interesting game with chances at both ends. I mean, 15 shots on target between them in the first half. That's pretty interesting. And yeah, that's definitely not a bad evening for Los Santos, but it could be difficult for Stackington in the second half. Let's have a look at the stats for Stackington. I'm surprised to see with this formation and the title Redemption. I'm surprised to see such low numbers. It's a solid formation. Marinho and Novotny are definitely decent central defenders. It should in theory be going a little bit better than what it is at the moment for the Stackington boys. Buffon on a 6. Um, yeah, condition wise, the course down on an 83, but nothing to really worry about. So something for the manager to think about. Doesn't look great at the moment. Meanwhile, Los Santos, the assists were for Lisa Rasu indeed, and Episan picked up one as well. Maldini's already on a 9, Pizarro's on an 8, Guerrero's on a 7. We have a look at the screen here. That's a very very solid display from Los Santos in the first half. They don't have a bunch of options on the bench. Henshaw, I guess, is decent enough to come in, but so hopefully for them, no injuries. We'll check the condition. Biscan is down on uh, on 79%, but Henshaw's obviously uh, kind of able to play there. If not, then license can for sure. Meanwhile, I don't think Jamie's here, so we'll go back to Stackington because I think Ross has some instructions. La Cour for Del Piero to AMC left Bagahawa, like this, I guess, is what we're gonna go with. Void Central. Any arrows, Ross, or okay like this? Elf style diagonal arrows on the AMCs, maybe? Or we wait until 60 with that. So on we go. Ooh, penalty claim turned down. And straight down the other end, and Pizarro makes it 4. Not sure what's going on in the defensive area of the Stackington side tonight, but there seems to be some confusion about who's picking up who. Um, it hasn't. Alexander Boyd has somehow moved up to a 9. Not entirely sure how that happened, but he has. Unfortunately, the well, we're now on 18 shots, but Los Santos are the ones uh, who are 4-0 up now. Probably difficult to get back in. I would say for Stackington, but Ross, if you want to make any more changes here on the hour mark or just after, then please let me know, or we'll run it until the end. Never nice to be down 4-0 with an hour, almost with half an hour almost to play. Elder for Saviola, Elba for Saviola, and that's it. Excellent. We'll see if consolation goal is on the cards, or if Los Santos will continue the dominant display that they've had so far. Does look as if Stackington has had a couple of chances, and there is Elba with the consolation. 4-1 now. Los Santos trying to see this one out without conceding any injuries, but of course they do. Kalushny picks up 1 license. It's a straight swap for him. I seem to remember. Either way, there's only a minute or 2 to play, so I'm sure we will be okay. Um, Buffon saves superbly, and was that the last action of the game? No, it isn't. Ibrahimovic is coming forward. Del Piero with the header, and it's 4-2. So it might not have started particularly well for Stackington, but it certainly finished well. Maybe some positive inspiration for the manager for the next games. I mean, when you look at it like that, a very, very even game, and then you it was 4-1 with just a couple of minutes to play, then you know can't buy a win at the moment, says Ross. Indeed, it looks as if it's as if it's if it's tricky. You're having 12 shots, 8 of them on target, and still losing 4-2. That's a tough one. Jamie will be delighted with his side picking up the 3 points, and with Pizarro finding the back of the net. Release Saviola on a free. Yeah, that seems to be. Or yeah, I mean, Mac is not here anymore, so you probably can't sell him to anyone. And I'm not managing, so you definitely can't. Um, you need more aerial power, says Al. Um, yeah, watch out for the windy conditions. Key takeaway for this one for Los Santos for sure is Pizarro, because given the squad, they have like very, very few other options in terms of scoring goals, so they will be delighted to see him getting 2. Meanwhile, over at Stackington, let's have a look at what went well. Zlatan Ibrahimovic picking up 2 assists. That's excellent for both Elba and Alessandro Del Piero. That's a good sign. Ashley Cole and Cosmin Contra. Um, yeah, I mean, it'll work out eventually for those 2 on the wings, I think. So maybe just a bit of bad luck. and definitely positives to take from this one, even though it's very difficult when you are, of course, without a win after 9 games and you've just conceded 4. But I try to say look on the bright side. If there is one, then it's definitely down here that you can see that things are improving. And Alexander Voigt really enjoyed playing by himself there in the central, so that's maybe something to consider. He was classed for the old Dudley Hillside of Luca tonight. Novotny and Marinho can't be played at centre back in the Super League, says Tato. Really? Uh, did Marinho not have, I don't know about Novotny, but did Marinho not have a role to play in a fairly successful team at some point? I seem to remember, but someone who pays more attention to this than me will know Rivaldo is a liability. Um, I mean, maybe in that particular role. There's something to be said for him and one of the De Boer. I can't remember which one is the attacking one. Frank, whatever. For an AMC with like a diagonal arrow to the center. I think that's like the best way to play some of these guys. But anyway, I'll let someone who spends more time on this figure it out. Anyway, moving for moving swiftly on, we've got Exiles up against East Coast in our next game of the evening. There is Viduka unhappy. Anyone needing a certified goal scoring legend can just give Dimple a quick buzz and he'll discuss terms, I'm sure. Uh, Last time out was that 3-0 win against Stackington. Constantino in the goals. Yes, I did ignore that he scored, I think, or didn't mention it. But yeah, he did well. East Coast on a decent run, not lost since that Haggis game, and picked up a fair few wins as well. So no doubt they'll be soon be challenging for the top spots. Um, yeah, well, if anything else you want to flog, I mean, it quiet down on the transfer market, Dimple. So if anyone wants to do some deals, then do feel free. Do feel free. Remember remember the end of season review of how many of them actually got games, which might impact the transfer allowance for the future. I'm only joking. You can do as many as you want. I have Jorge Costa, who's very good in the air and aggressive. Mm. I mean, if Roque Costa is the answer, then what was the question? But indeed, who knows? Maybe he'll work out in the Super League. We have seen some unusual goal scorers do well. Anyway, those are the East Coast guys. Over on the other side, we have Exiles. And Luis Saha has been mildly injured, if that's the correct term, for a while now, but his manager insists to put him on the bench. I haven't seen Neil about, but if he is, I'm sure he'll jump in and make changes. This is the formation that he's going with. So Roberto and Diana, Imo Diana out on the wing. He has played a couple of games. I don't know how I missed that. Anyway, um, we'll just kick this one off. I I don't know. I don't know any of these players really well. I do, but I don't really know what to say about them. So if any of them score, I'll present my opinion, and if not, then I won't have to worry about it. It's Exiles at home to East Coast. Christian Vieri, we all know Christian. Um, Early chance for him. His name was up there again, but didn't see if he actually had a shot on target or if he was just kind of getting knocked over as he was there. Um, a little bit tense, a little bit of a tense watch this one. Just waiting for the opening goal from either side. Both of them seem to be creating a fair bit. A little bit more in Exile's favor at the moment, but straight away the balance wins back in East Coast's favor. Rustico getting involved, Kovalchuk, and there is Robin. Um, but nothing happened. Nothing happened. Wonder when Paul Douglas appears in the Super League. I feel like he's there. I'm not going to go and do the player search thing now, but I feel like he is there. He's like he's there somewhere. I'm sure he's there, Paul Douglas. I'm sure he's there. Anyway, as mentioned, a very tense affair. Two shots on goal each. Both of Exile shots were on target. Neither of East Coast shots were. Evening, Neil. Good to have you here. I'll let you have a look at your halftime stats. Alessandro Nesta is on a 9, doing very, very well. Quarterback is on a 6, and you have no fitness issues. This is what it looks like. Don't know if you want to make any changes. If so, then please let me know, or we will run until 60. Better than Saviola. Well, it's maybe disputable. Rustico's on a yellow. Gattuso's on a yellow. There are some sixes and sevens in here. If there's anything you would like to do now, Dimble, then please let me know. Otherwise, we'll run till 60. I think Neil already confirmed. Tato created a pro clubs player. Is that like a FIFA thing? I guess. Called Wolfie and played him for about 2 months. That's good. Did it go well, or it was just his appearance, or was it? Did you replicate his talent, his talents as well, or just the appearance? Meanwhile, we roll to 60. Both managers are happy to give everyone another 15 minutes. Um, and Nakata was there. Nakata getting involved again. Nakata seems to be the driving force in the early second half for East Coast. This is what Exiles look like in terms of ratings. Cordoba still on a 6. Condition, you are good. Any changes, feel free to let me know. Over on East Coast side, it's condition-wise, no issues. Performance-wise, plenty. So floor is open for both managers to make their changes. Chuck Figo on for Santos. We shall do. Figo for what? Where is he? Paulinho South. It's so difficult to find things. That'll do. Good. And over on East Coast, Dimble, if there's anything you can think of that might get you a winner. I no longer have a beard. No? That's a shame. I mean, it's summer. You can't have a beard in the summer. I don't think it's comfortable or hygienic, really. I guess it depends on how long and thick it is, but in general. Yeah, Tuso for Marcelo Salas. Centralized two MCs. I guess it's like this. No arrows. Uh-huh. Gattuso offers Salas centralized two DMCs, no arrows. Salas left striker and a two up top, arrow and Ronnie. 25C, it had to go. I dream of the days when it was when it was only 25 degrees. Right, we roll until the end. We roll until the end. Um, with Figo in a DMC role with a long arrow. I think it's the first time we've seen him uh, in that particular position. He is a bit of a utility player, but we'll see if he is able to make an impact in this one. Maybe slow it down. Oh well, I was going to try to slow it down a little bit, but 10 minutes then exploded past. 3 minutes of added time coming up. Last chance of the game, perhaps. Nakata getting involved as well, trying to impress his manager. But Giuliano picks up a yellow. I'm not entirely sure for what, but that what came of that. And there's the final whistle. No longer drink either, only tea and juice. Oh my goodness. What caused that? Life-threatening medical condition or something like that? Scared sober? Oh, is that what it's called? A lovely game, yeah. I mean, as mentioned, tense, I think is a word, but no goals for either side. Decent amount of shots, not the worst. Um, and yeah, nothing really to write home about. Damiano Tomasi maybe picking up a 9. That's good. Dimple will be a little bit disappointed about Didier Gat getting a 5 for sure. I mean, that's terrible to win 1 of 13 attempted tackles. Yeah, that must be some kind of record anyway. I did see a lot of Hidetoshi Nakata in the game, but it didn't seem to have that much of an impact. A couple of good passes, but 0-0 was the end result between Exiles and East Coast. Next up, we have the Sloths of Alf, and we have against Northern Burn. Let me see if I got this one right. This is a version 9. I guess there's going to be a new one. Guess there's going to be a new one each week for Alf. I think Franca has has impressed his new manager. So he starts. There's a lot of attacking players in here. Brugink is there as well. Keane, Shearer's up top. I believe there was an injury to Kessman. Indeed, that's keeping him out. Stam is out again. He had one game and now he's out again. I mean, it was a key signing for the manager. He'll be fairly unhappy not to have seen more of Jaap Stam than one in the first nine for sure. But hopefully for him, he'll come back shortly. So this is the Spartak Sloth lineup. I hope I don't lose on a late goal again. Indeed, you have lost on a couple of late goals in these two games anyway. So yeah, and maybe in the East Coast game as well. Was that a late goal? Nah, not really, 44, but for sure in the last couple of games. Um, big love for the formation. Indeed, it's an interesting one. But let's not dwell on that. Let's go over to the other side where there are no surprises, unless you've never heard of Ian Edwards before. But indeed, unchanged. If I'm going to tempt fate, I could double check, but I'm fairly certain it's unchanged. So let's not worry too much more about that. They are first in the league. Let's kick this one off and see if Northern Burn can continue their run against Alf and the Sloths. Lovely Northern Burn away kit. Another shout out for the away kits this evening, the second one that we've had. Let's kick this one off and see if the narrow formation can cause havoc against the league leaders or if the unchanged side will remain firm. Keen opening the scoring after just 7 minutes for Sloths. This could be a interesting affair if it continues in that way because there's been a lot of chances and there is Brooking with a second for Sloths. Not sure how many managers saw this one coming, Sloths being 2-0 up after half an hour. You don't need to worry about conceding one late goal now, Alf. As long as there's only one, you'll still win 2-1. But of course, we have the full second half still to play. 2-0 at half time, though. That's very promising for the Sloths on their ninth iteration of a narrow formation. 5 shots, 4 on target. Northern Burn, not a single one. Really not been able to utilize the wings at all, despite the space being afforded by the narrow formation. Let's have a look at, oh my goodness, Brooking with an assist, Rosicky with an assist, Ronnie Johnson on a 9. I mean, Alpha song his praises from day one of doing the Super League. And he is, despite his age, despite everything, he is for sure one of the highest rated defensive players in the game. And we see that displayed here. Condition-wise, Alf, you're worried about your stamina. You have nothing to worry about so far. It's only Franca who started on 95, who's down on 89. So at the moment, um, nothing. Ian says as is. I'll show you your your stats. Riquelme is on a 5. I'll show you your condition as well. Everyone is alive. Just so you have it for your record. Meanwhile, Alf, I don't know if you want to go as is as well. Okay, perfect. So cat amongst the pigeons here. Well, could be, could be. I mean, don't underestimate the sloth side for sure. We'll see what the second half brings. 10 minutes of not a lot happening, coming up to 60, and time for potential changes. Oh, and skip to 65. Apologies for that, gentlemen. You lost 5 minutes there. Alf, 7 and 8 across the board. In terms of conditions, you've only got Franca on 84. Don't think there's anyone else that you need to worry about in terms of condition. So if you want to throw anyone on, Fiore, Smith, whoever, then please let us know. Meanwhile, Northern Burn still not found a way to break down that Sloth's defense, and there's a couple of underperforming players in here. So I don't know if Mr. Edwards will go as is or if he is plotting some changes. Brett Emerson doing well. He's on an 8, but has got a yellow. He's got Brosek on the bench, and Morientes could potentially do something attacking wise there. Cole is begging to be subbed off as well on a 6 for sure. Alf goes Fiore for Franca, not taking any chances on the old fitness. Meanwhile, Mr. Edwards is walking around the chair, considering his options. You should get an ice box like Bielsa and sit down instead. 25 minutes and a potential tactical masterclass by Mr. Edwards coming up, I guess. Panic stations now. Oh, here we go. Brosek for Riquelme. We do that. Cole for Morientes. Yeah. Put him to the left of Inzaghi. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Excellent. I think that's how we do it. Long arrows on these guys. So I guess it looks like that. Long arrows on the wing backs, arrow still on both AMCs. Morientes up next to Inzaghi and Vieira central. Don't know if that's got you nervous, Alf, but here comes the last 25 minutes. I'll put it all on a slightly slower speed so you can so you can really get a chance to enjoy it. First 5 minutes pass without incident. And it's Aribo West who had a throw in and gave the ball away. There's Brose coming forward, so close for him, but didn't find the back of the net for Northern Burn. 13 minutes remaining now. Um, Sloths had the ball, lost it. Northern Burn picked it up, but didn't immediately turn it into an attacking option. 5 minutes to play now. And again, it's Northern Burn with the ball. 2 minutes of at a time. I mean, for sure, the initiative seems to be with the away side, but the Sloths are holding firm. Um, Stamina not come into it yet, and there is the final whistle. Sloths do not concede a late goal, and considering the score too early on, that means that they pick up the 3 points and an impressive win over the league leaders at 27 free kicks, 16 of them for offside. That's a lot. So congratulations, Alf, for the win for the narrow. Commiserations, Ian. I'm sure you'll bounce back and not make any changes, but, but we'll see. Um, Gareth Southgate, man of the match. Well, fancy that. Well, fancy that. Gareth Southgate. Who would have thought that he would hit the headlines this week? Great win nonetheless for Alf and the boys. Um, when a narrow clicks, it clicks. I mean, I'm still hoping for a narrow finalist one day. We'll see if it happens. We haven't had one, of course, since season whatever it was early on when Andreas and the Valence side did it. But yeah, um, and that was the Northern Burn performance. NDI doing very, very well. Everyone else kind of sort of hanging around. Sol Campbell, Brett Hamilton, decent performances from them. But yeah, bit of an off day for Northern Burn. Anyway, we have got Sancti against Badgers, a big one that we need to obviously find a winner of as well, or a draw, who knows. Sancte, who I believe had a great result against Foss Road, then went back to losing ways against Exiles, unfortunately for them. A couple of tricky away games coming up afterwards against Vikings and Fulchester. So yeah, reigning champions. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one for them. Here's how they line up. I guess that there are no real surprises here, no big names left on the bench. Totti's still in there. He's not had the best start to the season, I'll be honest. Um, I think, I don't know if we had this conversation in the Super League or if it was outside the Super League. Totti should play as a striker, I believe. That that's his best position. That's what you're going to get the most out of him, the most goals, etc., etc. But who knows? Not me usually, but it might be worth a try. Meanwhile, Tato says, I wonder who I picked to play. Did you not change anyone because you won, like you keep winning games, so you just like don't do anything? No, I think you don't do anything. So you didn't pick anyone. You just said as is because Rayad and Pierre and all of these, I won't say freaks, but these lesser known players, they did super well. I think that's what's happening for Boothtown Badgers at the moment. Um, Yeah, definitely. That's definitely what's happening for them. So no surprises, and we'll see how it goes as you visit Sancte Salutis and Duggan's guys. Duggan was here. Hopefully he still is. Kick off the first half and see how it goes. Nikikorenko, league leader in goal contributions potentially. Rayad and Nicky equality. Well, Rayad had 3 assists on his debut, but it's Vincenzo Montella who opens the scoring for Sancte. So that gone in the home side's favor. Um, well, let's see if Badgers can find a way back into this one, but it does seem as if things are pretty much going Sancte's way so far. Couple of good chances, a good save there by the Badgers keeper. Pence are getting involved again. Okoronko, I think, on a yellow now. Interesting, interesting in the first half. 6 shots, 5 on target for Sancte, and actually nothing for Badgers. Um, they've maybe not done super well, but Totti got the assist. So yeah, maybe he can play there as well. And as is from Duggan, let me just see if you have. Oh, Wolfie lives. Indeed, he does. He literally does. He's here. And everyone on plus 90 fitness. Tato, these are your brave soldiers. Desai, unsurprisingly, average rating merchant on an 8. Challenging for Okoronko. You've got Ashley Lythe. You've got Rossini, Sventokovsky on the bench. Tons of fitness. I don't know if you just have 2 very, very fit sides or why, or maybe they're just playing at a lower tempo. Who knows? As it's still 60 for both managers. Take another 10 minutes then here and see if anything changes. Didn't, unless something does. Now Mendieta with a quick chance there, but nothing happened. Lausen's down on a 5 and on a yellow. Not sure if his manager is going to be too pleased with that. Not sure if he's going to do anything about it either, looking at his options on the bench, but who knows? That's probably your only real concern at the moment, Duggan. Meanwhile, over at Badgers, plenty of concerns in terms of ratings. Fitness-wise, everything is looking amazing. Mr. Campbell, good of you to join us. You have played and won, so congratulations. And Tato, if there's anything that you want to do here, then of course, fire away. Duggan goes as is, keeping Martin Lausen on. Brave, brave, brave. Um, and Tato, I await your instructions. You will surely do something to find a win here, or try to find a win anyway, or at least a draw. 9 gigs and a 6. That is rare that you see that. That is pretty rare. Oh, here's another good story. I like these. You're doing a smashing job with your instructions, guys. I really appreciate it. CC4 Rossini, we do that. Extend the wing arrows all the way up and move Mendieta and Davids to MC. No arrows though. 21412. Excellent. Last hour coming up. Last half hour coming up rather. See if Badgers can get back into this. I've had a chance, but so has Sancte. And now Sancte coming forward again. Montella being in the kind of key protagonist. There is Duff. I think Totti was somehow involved in that as well. They're 2-0 up now. Difficult to see Badgers finding a way back into this, especially with only 5-6 minutes to play. And Ambrosini makes it 3, believe it or not. Believe it or not, Sancte has absolutely hammered the Badgers here. 4-0 back. Welcome, Mr. Ian Campbell, just in time to see Arik back, making it 4-0 for Sancte. Excellent, excellent, excellent result for the home side. 11 shots, 10 on target. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see that one coming. And look at the headers one. I mean, if there's ever a key stat, who was light in the air? Who said that someone was light in the air early on? Was it Stackington who needed more strength in the air? It looks as if Badgers could do with some of that as well. Uh, some aerial prowess. I'm not sure if that's the right word. Anyway, Jagasa's man of the match with 2 assists. Totti with an assist and an 8 after I slacked him off. So that's good. Martin Lausen somehow scraped back up to a 7. Badgers, things happened. It wasn't good. We'll leave it at that. Congratulations to Duggan, um, and Tato. You'll bounce back from this one. Don't worry. You can take Pierre got a 7, I guess. You'll figure something out. Last game of the evening, I believe we're coming up to now, is Stanley against the Vikings. So appreciate the patience, Paul and Mike. Sweet baby Jesus in the offense. What? 10 games earlier when Sancta usually turn up. Good result for them, a 4-0 win. Um, anyway, Vikings. Where are we with Vikings? Was there any changes? I don't remember. Maybe. Sorchinski indeed and other stuff. Indeed, there was something resembling changes. So yeah, Vikings. They picked up a draw, they picked up a win, and then they lost on the road to Fulchester, and now they're on the road to Stanley, um, looking looking to return to winning ways with that incredible Viking side from last season, which have struggled under new ownership, but things are slowly moving in the right direction. Um, Players are being played in the right position. We still see Diego Simeone um, at, at I don't get it. I'm not as patient, but I guess his manager is. So lucky for him. Lucky for him that he still plays. Thierry Henry, only with 2 goals. Of course, last season he scored a bunch. That's probably been the main issue. I won't say that Simeone can't play there, but having a goal scorer like Henry, Thierry Henry, who was so prolific last season, who has done literally nothing this season, has not helped his manager out at all. But I'm sure that Paul will keep the faith and turn things around for the Vikings. They're 13th at the moment, and of course, with Stackington not picking up a win earlier, then they can't drop down to 14th, but 13th still not ideal. Up against Red Rose Stanley. Let's remind ourselves. Indeed. We have Tsigalco back up front with Simak and Ronaldo behind him. Scally comes in center midfield. Couple of good, solid changes there. I think Tsigalco playing up front centrally by himself is probably what most people would prefer to see. Um, Sam has already moved the season though, hasn't he, Alf? I don't know. So you would have to wait until the next one for that. And so is Southgate anyway. He just came in as well. You can't swap players that you've just bought. It doesn't work like that. Um, let's see how this one goes. The last game of the evening, it's Stanley against the Vikings. And Stanley at home, kicking off, looking for a win. Scally is better at DMC. Scally is, Esteberia opens the scoring, or thought he'd open the scoring, but it's ruled out. It's ruled out for offside, and 22 minutes have passed, and there hasn't been any further action. Tsigalco tries his best. I'm surprised at the lack of effectiveness that we've seen from Maxim so far this season. A little bit like Thierry Henry. I mean, there should really be more goals in both of them, given how they've performed in the past. Thierry Henry, maybe not everyone's first choice, but he scored from the AMC role. He's coming as a striker. He's definitely produced goals before in the Super League. Um, Meanwhile, I was chatting away, and Stanley had certainly the best of the first half in terms of chances, in terms of possession. Vikings just the one shot, probably two if we count the one that was ruled out for offside. Sixes and sevens, no fitness. 7, 8, and some other stuff going on. 3 shots, all 3 on target though, to give him credit. And he is on an 8 Sigalco, so probably working out the probably working out fairly well. All things considered, even though we haven't found the back of the net yet, either side. Rio Ferdinand on an 8. Apart from that, this is what it looks like. Mike says assist, and I mean, apart from Martin Palermo, uh, I'm not sure. I mean, there's Patsatsoglu. I don't know what options there are really. Could maybe move Hersey back in midfield, or I don't know. Either way, I'll let Paul make his own judgment about what he's going to do, if anything, at halftime. The goal machine. Carry on till 60. We will carry on till 60. Oh, good chance there for Vikings, and it goes down the other way for Stanley to have a chance. Yeah, both teams had a bit of an effort there, or a bit of an attempt. We do have 24 5 minutes still to play. These are your numbers, Nicky Bot on a yellow and a 9, condition wise. Everyone is doing fairly well. So those are yours, Mike. If there's anything that you would like to do, while Pinto sitting on the bench, eagerly anticipating his opportunity to come in and be the match winner. Meanwhile, Kiotis is doing very well in the Vikings goal. Everyone else is kind of having a bit of a mid game, to be completely honest. Italy are probably disappointed with that early disallowed effort, and everyone else sort of kind of just getting by. Instructions for both managers, very much welcome, and we'll get them up. And the last 25 minutes done. Move Ronaldo and Samuel to SC. Oh, we're going for it. 3 up top for Red Rose, and that's done. Meanwhile, over in the Vikings camp, Ethberia for Palermo, 2 up top. And there we go, like this, presumably like this. If you can just confirm that that's okay, that would be great. Marouane Hersey, yep, we'll do like this. 25 minutes coming up. Last game of the evening. Well, we have a last goal, or have we seen the last goal already by Eric Back in the previous game? Time will tell. We'll slow it down a little bit so we can enjoy last couple of minutes here in the Stanley versus Vikings game. If anything happens, oh, here's Stanley coming forward. It's Palermo and it's Hersey and it's Cafu. It's all the big names getting involved. Great football by Vikings, but didn't really uh, didn't really have the desired outcome for the manager. No goal, 3 minutes of added time, so there's 8 minutes in total still to play. Westerveld holds on to the ball. Emerson comes forward. Here is Simeone, who was criticized so heavily by the Super League headquarters. So that's usually um, that's usually a goal, but doesn't seem to have been the case so far. Good save by Kiotis, good save by Westerveld. A tale of two keepers, perhaps, this game. It comes to the final whistle, and indeed, 2 clean sheets. Um, Decent amount of shots on target, 13 in total, not too bad. Fairly even in general, the game. A little bit more possession to Stanley, but yeah, overall, fairly decent. Strong defensive performances from everyone. Man of the match was Nicky Butt, Uyehyok, Gary Neville, everyone doing relatively well defensively. Maxim Chigalko didn't have a single shot in the second half. He stays on 3 and 3 and got his 8. Could maybe be a little bit better. Down the other end, Vikings, um, similar but slightly lower. Similar but slightly lower average ratings for their players, and will probably be happy enough with a clean sheet away from home. Mainly thanks to the keeper, probably, who had a good evening. This is then the classifieds. So Dudley Hill drew 1-1 with Boss Road. Exiles drew 0-0 with East Coast. Haggis 2-0 winners against Fulchester. Los Santos 4-2 winners against Stackenton, who had that bit of a comeback there. Sanctay 4-0 against Badgers, but stay in 12th apparently. Sloths up to 8th with that 2-0 win over Burn, who stay in first place, and Stanley 0-0 with Vikings, as we just saw. Here's the table. Getting a little bit more compacted at the top. That's pretty much what happened there, with Dudley moving into second. Hackers is in there as well. Exiles just below the dotted line there. Sloths and Fulchester and Stanley not too far behind. Down at the bottom, Los Santos now on 9, Sancte on 8 with the wins that they had there. Los Santos now scored 12 goals, which is kind of up in playoff territory. Stackington now in 7. Yeah, Stanley the only one still on 5 goals, but only conceded 7 as well. So 10 points. It's all good. It's all good. Um, let's have a look at the fixtures before we finish up. I'll put the stats out tomorrow at some point. It's Badgers against Exiles next. Exiles obviously had a decent result there. Badgers looking to bounce back. Los Santos, goal scoring form, travel to East Coast. It's full chest at home to Dudley Hill. We've got Northern Burn, who are looking to put that Sloths defeat behind them against Foss Road. Then we've got Stackington looking for a win against Sloths, who are in great form. That's going to be tricky. Stanley against Haggis. Um, that's going to be a test for the Stanley defense again, with Van Nistelrooy picking up that brace tonight. And then finally, Vikings against Sancte. Vikings at home, looking half decent. And Sancte with that 4-0 victory, they'll go into that game with a ton of confidence. That's how we leave it for this evening. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'll get back to you with updates and stats and all of this good stuff that I know you like to see. I'll process the transfers as well, and I'll confirm once they're done. And then I'll see you again soon, I hope. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for your time and your patience. I'll speak to you soon.